I wanted to make a dish around these onions, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it just yet, as I had barely any fresh ingredients in. I got them half peeled and heated oil in a pan, then got them in cut side down to build up some colour. I knew at this point I wanted to make somewhere between a roast and a braised onion dish. This meant that I would need stock, which I didn't actually have. This provided me with an opportunity to make my own with a few fun savoury flavours to balance out the onion's natural sweetness. Dried mushrooms went in first for savoury depth, then kombu, which is a seaweed used in Japanese broths to do a similar job. For richness and a background hum of smoke, I added a couple of slices of pancetta. Next up, I got a load of miso in to continue the kind of Japanese savoury vibe. This reminded me of a miso butter onion dish that I'd seen a while back, so I added a load of butter at this point for texture. I tipped in boiling water and allowed the stock to infuse while I checked in on the onion. They were starting to pick up some really nice colour at this point, so I tipped in the savoury stock, brought everything up to a boil, then got them into roast. I had soft, I had savoury, I now needed crunch. I grabbed a couple of slices of sourdough from the freezer, defrosted them and ripped them into little bits. I got them onto a tray, drizzled over sesame oil to complement the onions, veg oil as I didn't really want to use too much potentially overpowering sesame oil, seasoned with salt, rubbed to coat and got them into bake alongside the onion. Next, I had to think about how to add a little bit more interest to the dish. Shirakake is a Japanese seaweed-based seasoning used in all sorts of dishes. I thought that maybe I could make my own using some of the bits I already had. I ripped some nori seaweed into a blitzer to mirror the seaweed in the stock and add another layer of flavour. Then followed with loads of sesame seeds to form the seasoning's base. Added salt and blitzed until fine. It tasted great and I knew it would amp up all the flavours. I adjusted with a pinch of sugar just to make it pop a little bit more. Once the croutons were ready, I tossed them in the seaweed seasoning. At this point, we were firmly in a Japanese direction, so I got some rice onto boil while the onions finished cooking. I knew this would absorb any onion cooking juices really nicely. Once the onions were soft, I gave them a flip, wasn't really that happy with the lack of caramelised colour, then got them under the grill to solve that problem. I spooned rice into bowls, popped on my jammy, crispy, savoury, sweet onions, spooned over plenty of the miso butter glaze, scattered over the croutons and finished with a sprinkle of the leftover sesame seasoning powder. For balance and colour, I finished the dish with a few strands of pickled onion I had in the fridge. I was super happy with this stunning store cupboard win.